When your Uverse box won't turn on, you're dealing with one of the most common technical issues. About 35 to 40% of all Uverse support calls are related to power and connectivity problems. The first step in diagnosis is examining the power supply adapter. This external component converts AC power from your wall outlet to the DC power your Uverse box needs. Next, carefully inspect the power cord for any visible damage. Look for kinks, burn marks, or other signs of wear that could prevent proper power delivery. Verify that all connections are secure. Check the connection at the wall outlet, the power adapter, and where the cord plugs into your Uverse box. For a more precise diagnosis, use a multimeter to test the DC output of your power adapter. The reading should be within 10% of the rated voltage, which is typically 12 volts DC for Uverse boxes. Try plugging the power adapter into a different wall outlet to rule out electrical issues with your original outlet. Sometimes the problem is with the wall outlet itself, not your equipment. Finally, if you have access to a known good power adapter with the same specifications, test it with your Uverse box. This definitively determines whether the adapter is the problem. Power adapters are actually the most common failure point in these situations. When power supply checks are complete, the next step is examining cable connections. Coaxial cables are the backbone of your Uverse signal, and connection issues are surprisingly common. Start by checking both ends of the coaxial cable. Ensure tight connections at the wall jack and at the Uverse box input. Look for any visible damage to the cable shielding or bent connectors. Pay special attention to damaged cables. Pinched cables behind furniture or bent connectors can completely block your signal. Replace any cables showing visible damage to the outer shielding. Next, test your HDMI connections. A faulty HDMI cable or loose connection can make it appear that your Uverse box isn't working, when it's actually just a display issue. Try these HDMI troubleshooting steps in order. First, try a different HDMI cable. Second, use an alternate input on your TV. Third, test with a completely different television if available. For IP-based Uverse boxes, network connectivity is crucial. Check your Ethernet cable connection if hardwired, or verify Wi-Fi status through the box menu system. Access the system menu on your Uverse box to check network status. Look for connection indicators and signal strength. Test internet connectivity on other devices to isolate whether the issue is with the box or your network. Don't overlook remote control issues. Many apparent power problems are actually remote control failures. Start with the most common fix, replacing the batteries. Replace batteries with fresh alkaline cells. Clean the battery contacts with alcohol if you see any corrosion. The metal contacts should be bright and clean for proper electrical connection. Here's a simple test for remote functionality. Point your remote at a smartphone camera and press any button. You should see the infrared LED light up on your phone screen. If you don't see the light, the remote isn't transmitting. Finally, try the physical power button on the Uverse box itself. This bypasses any remote control issues entirely. Press and hold the power button for 10 to 15 seconds to attempt a hard reset. These connection and remote troubleshooting steps resolve the majority of Uverse box issues. Systematic checking of cables, network connectivity, and remote functionality will identify most problems before requiring professional service.